What is up, YouTubers? Welcome back to a brand new special video. So today, like every Tuesdays and Saturdays, I'm going to be doing a Raw review, and then Saturday I'll do a SmackDown review. That's just what I do the day after every single Raw, SmackDown, or whatever. So again, I have my notes I wrote down. So let's get into this Raw. Alright, so we start off with, first of all, I just want to say Samoa Joe is in the commentary. I absolutely love that. I really do love that. Samoa Joe, he's a beast in wrestling. I really, really do like him as a wrestler. But he did before go to commentary because he injured his wrist, and I guess they needed another commentator, so he was in it. And he was beyond good. He surprised everyone because everyone thought Samoa Joe was just an amazing commentator. So here he is again. I don't know why he can't wrestle. I knew he did get suspended and he had a concussion. I don't know. He got suspended, and then before that I think is a concussion. So maybe he still has a concussion. That's why he's not wrestling right now, or maybe they just need another commentator, and they said by popular demand. So, and I'm pretty sure, because I've been in social media and stuff, that more a lot of people, I'm not in the minority of Samoa Joe being a great commentator. So we begin with MVP's VIP lounge. He did mention something like all 12 competitors are going to start at the bottom of the corporate tower. Are they gonna start as the women's and men's matches are gonna be at the same time? And I think I'll talk about that a little bit later. I just love the VIP lounges. Big fan of Apollo Crews, how he's getting pushed, and I thought this was a really good segment about just them all three talking. MVP being a little bit short with Rey Mysterio, and also Aleister Black, but he did let Apollo Crews, I think he has respect for Apollo Crews. And then I don't really know what to call this faction. I'm gonna call them the Zelina Vega's faction, or the Vega Boys or whatever. They came out and just a good segment. I really did enjoy it. And then we got a 6-man tag action. Very happy that they did this 6-man tag action, because I thought that's exactly how I would book it, in a really good match. I love 6-man tag matches, especially if they're booked like that. If they're booked 3 competitors are somehow related, and then another 3 come out, or it'll even be better if all 6 men who are in the Money in the Bank fought. So I just love when they do that, and you can't get it wrong with a little 6-man tag action. Really, really good. Is Apollo Crews getting pushed because he did beat Andrade? I just wrote this down before. I just write down notes after the match. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But after the match I was like, oh, was Apollo Crews actually getting pushed? So who knows? And then we got the Triple H top 10 moments. Is really cool throughout the night. They were showing their top 10 best Triple H moments. So that was really cool. And then we got Andrade in Apollo Crews interview. Andrade was all mad. Apollo Crews came, slapped him. Then a USA title match, which I was very excited for later that night, which I'm happy, because I think they should do more stuff with the USA Intercontinental title. I feel like I love those titles, don't get me wrong. We're not so much the Intercontinental title now, because it doesn't look as sweet. Maybe I'll do a video on that. We'll get that a little bit later in another video. But I really am happy that they're actually using the USA title a little bit more tonight, and I think they should do that more. Have it in storylines like it used to be. I'm not really happy as of the current stands with USA title and Intercontinental title. They're not really there. They're in pay-per-views at sometimes, but they're not in storylines. Sami Zayn hasn't even been on Raw forever. Andrade, but he just shows off his USA title. He never really puts it on, in a match for that. So very happy that I saw that. Bobby Lashley versus Jobber. I'm very happy. That's why I'm a big fan of Bobby Lashley just telling Lana to stay. I hope that I hope Lana eventually comes, and then Bobby Lashley loses matches because of her, and her being a bad manager. But then when she's not there, he wins big matches. So I hope there's more stuff with that. Viking Raiders call out Street Profits. Very, very excited for this. I think this is the perfect opportunity for the Viking Raiders to actually get behind some people. They've been kind of a joke or like a just been used for a plot or just helping out the babyface and stuff like that. So now they're actual like real, not really like villains, like not really like heels, but they're like better. They're like anti-heroes or whatever. They just want to like beat people up and stuff like that. So I really am excited for the Street Profits match. So, and then we got Jinder Mahal versus Akira Tozawa. This match was very disappointing. Jinder Mahal makes his return. Just, why was it a squash match? I don't see, this is the problem I don't like with wrestling. When they have someone debut or they want to push someone, they just put them against jobbers or like people like Akira Tozawa, who I really am a fan of, or like people like Apollo Crews, or people like all those, like, or people like Cedric Alexander and stuff like that. And then squash match. Like, I would be okay with him winning, of course, but it would be a good back and forth match. That's why I love the Austin Theory versus Akira Tozawa match, because it was back and forth match. You really saw, like, it was almost like they were almost, like, it was almost like you're pushing two people at once. But then it was a squash match, and then what happens is after the, like, sometimes they never get into like actual real action. They're just doing squash match and then they're gone. But in the case of Jinder Mahal, then he got away from squash matches, and then he went away for a little bit. Either if they get suspended or get like, or like get not even released, but like maybe just not on TV for a while, injured, and then they go back doing the same process again with a squash match. And if you know me, I hate squash match versus jobbers especially, because they're just so boring. Like, what's the point? And then after that very disappointing squash match of Jinder Mahal, we got the interview with Leandro Garza. Not sure how I feel about this. He was kind of like flirting with that interviewer and like giving her a rose. Not sure how I feel about that. I don't really think people who interview should be in a storyline. Especially she's more of like a babyface interviewer, and Leandro Garza is 100% a heel, so not really sure. I hope they don't do too much with that, but I don't really care either way. And then we got the USA title match, Apollo Crews versus Andrade. Really, like, it was a good match. I just think it's really, really clever how they fake injured. Obviously, it's a work. Obviously, it's scripted. He didn't actually get injured. But how they injured Apollo Crews, because they really had you get behind him, have sympathy towards him, and just really like build him up so the fans could get behind him. Obviously, the tough part is the review doesn't know if the fans are behind him or not. They have to wait a couple days for Twitter to be like, and people have to be really vocal on Twitter about if they like someone or not, because you can't really hear like the crowd cheering and stuff. But I'm pretty sure that most people were behind Apollo Crews, and then you have him injured, because he was definitely not going to, as much as I wanted him to, he was definitely not going to win the Money in the Bank match. So I'm hoping they replace someone. We'll get that a little bit later. More people. So yeah, we'll get to who I think and who I don't want him to replace in the Money in the Bank. Because obviously they actually WWE released it on Twitter that Apollo Crews will not be in the Money in the Bank. Alright, then we got Street Profits, except why is it on next week on Raw instead of the Money in the Bank? That would be perfect if it was on the Money in the Bank and then it was for the tag titles. I just don't understand why it's on Raw, a non-title match. Why have that little cool build, and then just have it on next week on Raw? Why not have it in the Money in the Bank and actually have those titles on the line? So, missed opportunity there. Really don't see why they did that. Tomorrow night, which is tonight, is actually pretty stacked. They were showing the greatest matches tonight, right before Backstage. John Cena, Undertaker, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. So I was thinking about staying maybe up, but that would be really long to stay up. That would be till like 12 o'clock, and then you got Backstage, which, I mean, I might do that. I don't know if I will or not, but just a really cool night if you want to just chill out and just stay up. This is the night to do it if you're a wrestling fan. Then we got Ricochet and Cedric Alexander versus a jobber team called Everrise. It's kind of sad that I'm starting to get to know these jobbers, because they're like jobbers after jobber after jobber. They're using the same jobbers, obviously, because they're really like, they can't spend as much money, obviously, because of coronavirus stuff. I love Cedric. I'm beginning to really, really enjoy watching Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. They have the natural attire. Before they had black and yellow. Now they're having like black and red. A really sweet attires for them. Just really think they should have a name. I don't really like Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. I think that's plain. Just give them a great name and have them be tag teams for like a couple years or maybe in a year, and then next year when you have like a crowd, maybe like when you have the crowd for like another year or 6 months, then split them up. Either split them up mutually or split them up so one person can attack the other and they have a feud, and then bang. So that's how I would book it. MVP shows up. I was getting so excited because I thought he was going to be the manager of Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. I would love that. That would be perfect. Have Ricochet, because Ricochet and Cedric Alexander obviously aren't like the most like communicative, or like they're not like I'm not saying they have bad promo skills. They're just, that's not their skill. They're just high flyers. They're amazing competitors in the ring, but on the mic, they're not as good as someone like MVP. So if MVP was their manager, that would be 10 out of 10 perfect. Then you wouldn't need a name for this team, because I would rather them not even have matching attires, or not even have a name if MVP was their manager. But sadly, he is not. He's managing Shane, I think their name's TM61. I could be wrong about that. I have no idea who they are. So I'm going to have to wait a little bit to see. I'm going to have to wait to see really how to judge this, because I could be wrong. This new tag team, the MVPs, could be pretty good and he could do well with this. But if it's this, it's a hit or miss. This is either going to be really good or really bad. I'm not okay with middle, just being like, oh, this is a okay tag team. MVP is a great talker, great wrestler, so he should be in. He should be managing an amazing person or an amazing tag team. So yeah, then we got the Apollo Crews interview where he is he can't talk. He's crying because he just lost everything. He was finally in the Money in the Bank, finally getting that opportunity he needed. So who will replace Apollo Crews? I wrote down some ideas, if I like them or I don't like them. The Vega Boys, or something like Vegas Boys or whatever, that faction. Could be Andrade, could be Austin Theory, or it could be Angelo Garza. Wouldn't really want this one. I would rather Apollo Crews be in it, because I don't see any three of them winning the match. As of now, I would see Aleister Black winning the match. So that's why I'm really hoping a big star goes in this match. Because, I like Aleister Black, but I just don't want him to be there yet, I'm not really fully behind him yet, and I don't think he should be a Money in the Bank winner. If he wins a world title, I think it should just be singles. I just don't really see him. I just don't see him as a person holding around a briefcase and, teasing, cash-ins or whatever. Just, I don't see that in him. Jinder Mahal would be one, since he did return. I guess you could see Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. That would be kind of, but only true, not true, but wrestling fans that have been fans for a while would really get behind that. Not even fully. I know I wouldn't really fully get behind that, because obviously a 3MB connection. I wouldn't get fully behind it. I'd be like, oh, that's clever, that's cool. But I would get behind a 3MB triple threat match. That would be really cool. But that's not going to happen, because sadly Heath Slater got released. MVP could be another one, because he was the person that lost in the qualifier match. I would be okay, but just that he's not going to win it. So I want someone to be in there and win it. So Samoa Joe would be another one I would absolutely love. As I previously mentioned, I'm a big fan of Samoa Joe. And if he is healthy, that would be amazing. I think they should push him. I don't want him to be one of those wrestlers that don't get a championship or don't get a long championship. He deserves it. He's an absolutely amazing wrestler. So I would love him to enter it and then win it. Another person we haven't seen for a while is Kevin Owens. Since his WrestleMania, it is kind of weird that Seth Rollins lost the match, but yet he's getting the world title opportunity. I believe Kevin Owens injured his ankle doing that WrestleMania spot where he dove off the WrestleMania sign. Not a major one, just a minor one. But that stinks. But I don't know if he's there. I don't know if he's ready yet, and I don't know if he even this is the time where you don't push it. If you can get away with having an injury, just don't push it. There's no reason to push it, because they don't really need you right now. Well, they do need you because of these times, but because of these coronavirus times, I don't see why he would want to push his ankle and then also get the risk of the coronavirus and stuff like that. Definitely no one on SmackDown because it definitely shouldn't be. I don't know if it will, but definitely shouldn't be no anyone on SmackDown because there's a Raw spot. Another one would be Triple H. I know in Friday Night SmackDown, my review, I was hoping Triple H would enter the Money in the Bank, so this is how they could do that. But he did say that he's not a Money in the Bank competitor. He doesn't like to climb things, stuff like that. So he basically shut it down. This would be this would be the one that I would pick. Would love it to be Edge. I was really hoping he was my pick before all these qualifying matches that I wanted him to win just because he's obviously, I believe, the first Money in the Bank winner. Just at least one more run, he could have it and then wait. Well, whoever it is, there definitely should wait like until the fans come back to cash it in because that's one of the best moments of cash-ins is to hear the fans go wild and then cash it in, especially if it's babyface. But or you can be like that girl when the Miz cashed it in, like the fans are definitely better. That's the thing, everything's better with fans, but that's not what I'm talking about in this video. But so yeah, my call I would like the best case scenario would be Edge doing it, but who knows what's gonna happen. And then we got the WWE Championship contract signing. They were showing a big like recap video. I really do like this build. I'm a big fan of this build. It's almost like Seth Rollins as an MCU villain. You can kind of see where he's coming from and why he wants to attack and why he wants to do it because he wants to lead. I don't like the gimmick of Seth Rollins being the Messiah or something like that, but I do like the leader part of him. If you could take out that Messiah part and just have him being this guy who thinks he's doing the right thing, thinks he's leading, and thinks he's just like this like great leader that is like leading Monday Night Raw to greatness, then that would be a really good gimmick. But no, they had to put the Messiah thing in. But take out that, I think this is a really good build. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of MCU where you can get where both sides are coming from. WWE doesn't tend to do that very much. I'm not saying they should because it's kind of just wrestling, but really cool aspect. Jerry the King Lawler was here. Don't understand why he was in the commentating. Did they just want to put Samoa Joe in? Either way, I would like there to be four because I'm a big fan of Jerry the King Lawler commentating, and he was only in it for a little bit. So really confused on if he was there, then why wasn't he a commentator? So, yep, and the Jerry King Lawler did say that the matches kind of confirmed that the matches were going on at the same time, which kind of stinks because I would like it just to be all on the men's and then all on the women's, mainly because I'm not a big fan. If you follow my channel, I'm not a big fan of the women's matches. Just their storylines kind of get a little dry. Their matches kind of just like too much screaming and too much like that's a whole nother video. I'm not gonna do that video, but that's a whole nother topic to discuss. So I just wish that either way, if you were a women's or men's fan or both, I think that you should be. I'm not just being biased too, because if I did like women's wrestling, I would still say that they should have their own shine line, because when you put them together, it's kind of taking away from the other one too, so you can't really see. But I guess it is kind of clever too, because you don't have to show the whole match where they're all climbing up. You know, you could like say if like the women's are on the floor for like on the first floor and the men's are kind of climbing up, like progressing the match. You could look at the women's and then look at the men's real quick, like fighting, and then look at the women's. They're up more. So it just came to me that that's actually kind of a decent move. Now I see why they're doing it. See, this is when I talk to you guys, even though you guys can't talk back to me, it's almost like I'm like sharing ideas and then I get ideas from it, so it's cool. But I do like how, the contract signings where they had different attires on, that was kind of a cool aspect. And then just good promo, good segment. He loved how Murphy came in and then he booted Murphy, almost like Seth Rollins. I love when they have like the main guy has like a second guy, and you can kind of get the vibe where the main guy doesn't really care about the second guy when he just leaves him alone. Then the second guy like absolutely gets beat up by the rival. So hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you liked about Raw and if you're enjoying Raw. My final score, I wasn't a huge fan. It wasn't as good as the earlier ones. I would maybe say a 6, a 5.5. I'd probably go with 5.5. Let me know what you would score Raw out of 10. I'm usually giving these Raws like a 7 or like a 6, so not the best Raw. SmackDown, I honestly think, is doing a little bit better just because of the tag team division. I love tag team matches, and just a really, really good show for SmackDown, mainly because of the tag team divisions and then the glitch and everything's happening over there. So if Raw did bring Edge back, for example, into that stuff, it would boost like my liking overall. I've always been a Raw guy, and I still am, just because I'm always going to be a Raw guy unless SmackDown makes some serious changes and Raw makes some serious changes. But as of right now, I'm enjoying SmackDown better. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all later. Peace!